Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here this day after Christmas, guys. And it looks like for all of us, we have got playoffs as a Christmas present. Thank the Lord. Now, as we look back, I know a lot of you guys are still butthurt and saying we don't score enough points, our team's not good enough, and this, that, and the other. You know what? Shut up. Just shut up with that stuff. Count your blessings, because it was this time last year that we were looking on the outside, looking in. We didn't sniff the playoffs last year. But this year, the second time in 3 years, here we are. And for no other reason why this team is successful this year as opposed to last year is, as much as we hated losing Dez Bryant and cutting him, it was a necessary evil. The reality was, had we not lost a guy like Tyron Smith last year, where the offensive line fell apart, where we were hit with a Chaz Green, where we could not block anybody, the fact that we have guys like Cam Fleming and Xavier Salafalu, and I hope I got that name right, but you know I'm a name butcher. It's what I do. That the offensive line has had all kinds of injuries. But we've had guys that have been able to come in and step up. You know, the fact that we lost Travis Frederick for the season, literally the general, the heart and the soul of that offensive line. And to have Looney Tunes come in there and play well. The fact that you had a rookie in Connor Williams who gets hurt, goes out, and Xavier Salafalu comes through. The fact that Zach Martin missed a game, first time in his career, but Connor Williams was able to step in. So depth is key, that you're not going from having an all-pro to basically having a guy that should be working at Walmart. And the same thing happened to us on the defense last year. When we lost Sean Lee, our defense literally went from 83 yards rushing, giving up a game, to 180. But with the injuries that we had, that Sean Lee has been gone, and and the fact that Tyron Smith has missed time, and all these other guys, the fact that you have guys that are stepping in has been a blessing. And I got to tell you, Randy Gregory, he kind of reminds me of Leon Lett, because you remember Leon Lett, who famously messed up in the snow against the Miami Dolphins. Sliding in the end zone. He just made a boneheaded play here, a boneheaded play there, and it came back, of course, to be what he was known for. But in reality, the big cat, he's working with the defense right now. He was integral, he was major. I'm not good with English. I'm always going to mess up. But without him, I don't know that defense was as good as it could be. And when we look at Randy Gregory, you can understand why they drafted him in the second round and took a chance on him. Because of the skills that he has that are God-given. Now, we've had quite a few times this season with Randy Gregory where he'd have a boneheaded play, and you go, "Oh, Randy, no." I mean, you can't have a guy literally hit a guy in the back of the head with an official on his shoulder, okay? That's stupid. Gave up 3 points in the game. You can't have mistakes like that. And we've seen the officials where they ended up calling him for a face mask against Drew Brees, even though he was literally being held around the neck. And we've seen him getting tackles low on the legs where he's getting a 15-yard penalty. But there's a reason why that guy is still there. There's a reason why you kind of understand what's going on. He's raw. Even though he's been in the league for several years, he hasn't had that much time for his talent to mature. But what you really see is, you see a raging bull, a man with fire. And I don't know if that fire is fighting his demons because of the drug issues and things like that, and he's trying to take it out on the opposing offensive line and quarterbacks. But you look at his raw talent and his ability. Over the course of the last 9 games, he's been a one-man wrecking crew. He's had 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 13 quarterback hits. He has been so good that he's made David Irving expendable. Now, I said when he finally came back He was reinstated. I said, if we can get him to make it through a season without being suspended for drugs, that anything on top of that would be a bonus. It would be a blessing. And he's been that and more. The fact that he is playing so well, when you look at what you've gotten from Randy Gregory this year, from David Irving this year, you kind of say, you know what? Maybe we do step away from David Irving. David Irving's got 4 tackles and 1 sack in 2 games. Didn't show up for OTAs. Didn't show up for off-season conditioning. Didn't show up for training camp. And when he did show up, he was out of shape. And he can't show up now to work on his injuries. Randy Gregory is there every day. He's working, trying to get better. He's putting his forth full effort. And understand what I always say. I've always said you go for that immovable force in the defense. You look for that guy that is that raging bull, because you get your biggest bang for the buck on defensive line. The defensive line literally makes everybody, and I mean everybody else, better. And most of you guys, like when I talked about, say, a Calais Campbell, you guys looked and said, well, he only gets 6 or 7 sacks a year and only about 30 or 40 tackles. Understand that defensive linemen aren't there to make the tackles. If you believe that's why they're there, then you don't understand the concept of defense. What the defensive line's job is to put pressure on the quarterback and to keep the linebackers clean. Now, when you've got a DeMarcus Lawrence on one side, who is getting double teamed, who's getting attention because they say, don't let that guy beat us. And then you put a Randy Gregory on the other side. You're having to keep in a running back to help block. You're bringing an extra tight end to help block. That means that these guys aren't going out for passes. What it also means is the offensive linemen are not getting to the second level. So when you see Jalen Smith go through there and just knock the snot out of a running back, or you see Vander Esch running around because they're not getting hit, it's because of guys like Randy Gregory that are in there doing the dirty work and keeping them clean so they can make the plays the way it's designed. And make no mistake about it, the fact that they put so much pressure on quarterbacks, it changes the game plan for the teams. Instead of sitting there with 7-step dropbacks, they've only got 2 seconds to go. So they start doing 3-step, quick-hitting plays. You get the biggest bang for the buck from that line. And that's where, God, Randy Gregory, if he stays clean, if he can just work on his craft, he's going to be DeMarcus Lawrence or maybe even better. And that's tall, big shoes to fill. But I think he can do it. And maybe it's time to finally unleash that guy. We're very blessed because had we lost David Irving and not have a guy like that to take up the slack, defense would not be that good and we might not be making the playoffs. So that's my thoughts on Randy Gregory and why we keep him around and look forward to his career in the future. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you with any news on the Dallas Cowboys.